Mic test. Tested mic. Mic test. Tested mic.
The line is drawn in the sand. Can someone help me to understand what's going on? What's taking place now in my nation? All of a sudden, like some people don't know right from wrong. They taking their death like some sheep with their heads bowed down. But I remember times in the past when politicians were doing crap. They wasn't afraid to call out their wrongs and let them know they're not having that. But nowadays, it's like people scared to speak the truth. They're living in fear. Disparity, hypocrisy, it's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't have the people hostage. To speak the truth, everybody afraid. They can't do that. They can't do that. From public servants you can hear a song. Victimization, Lord, they tie the tongue. They can't do that. 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 They can't do that.
I want to say a pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And how are we doing this afternoon? It is another wonderful, wonderful day in the spice aisle. Today being Monday, the 16th day of June 2025.
Pressure, pressure, everywhere you go the same cry. People,
a wonderful selection coming on there from Sheldon Douglas.
The country,
his contribution to 2025 Spice Mass.
You can't.
This one name.
They don't want.
They can't do that.
They don't care.
Get it?
Much people suffering once they party then. We healthcare system drowning in a mess. Basic medicine, the patients can get them poor money's, the hands on the head. Who take away the bread, so heartless and dread. But still we PM keep wasting millions, traveling the world and renting a mansion. Disparity, hypocrisy, it's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't turn their head to miraculous cries, and every day feeding them bags of lies. They can't do that. They can't do that. Too much ego, too much arrogance, no empathy. I do what I want. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that.
So go ahead right now and share the live.
They can't.
Let them know
They can't.
that we are back and we're here and ready, geared and ready. I'm hoping that you guys are getting me through your speakers properly. The classroom is all shiny and nice, clean and ready to go. Good afternoon to all my followers and listeners.
Calypsonians, we all want to know where the hell you're gone. Those self-proclaimed who call themselves the people's champion. For years and years, you sing songs claiming you're the people's voice. But it's clear right now, you no longer care about the people's plight. So much was waiting on the Chinese homes, but so sad for them, they can't get the loan. 118 million we got for burial. Affected families catching their still. The poor man can get GDP small loan, but some men.
Just to remind the general public of a few events that are happening. Post Royal Village Group presents the second annual Post Royal Day.
It's a shame.
That will be in the Post Royal Junction this Thursday, starting from 7 a.m. until, alright? There will be free food, including breakfast.
They might get
a solid bar awaits you. Road relay, bouncing castle, face painting, games, steel pen music, cultural presentation, live performances, and more. Music by popular DJ. So,
they can't
go out there to Post Royal and enjoy Post Royal Day, alright?
They can't do that, they can't do that, they can't do that.
Queen's Promotion presents 50 Shades Darker, the day cruise that will be taking place on Sunday the 27th of July aboard the Kayak Princess, DJ Fishman, DJ Smiley, MC Big Joe International. Boarding time 1 p.m., sailing time 2 p.m. Alright? Regular tickets are only $85. VIP tickets $300. Tickets are available at Chucky's Bar in St. George's, Spice Mobile in St. Andrews, and Sam in Guave. Alright? Contact Chucky on 421-9414. Spice Mobile on 520-9000. And Sam on 425-1819.
Can't be afraid to say wrong is wrong. No matter your race, no matter the class. Shouldn't be about color, but this country first. So let's change this now before it's too late.
The New York Support Group cordially invites you to attend an exquisite affair, an evening of elegance, style, and class on Saturday, June 21st, 2025 at 9 p.m. Music by Jude and Small Clues, $100. Formally attire, come experience delightful entertainment, dine, and graceful dancing. At Caribbean Hall, that's on 916 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, alright?
They will pay the price.
You can contact Aisha or Oliver, Cathy Albert, Wendy Maguire, P.D. Francis, or Sharon Caesar, alright? Come meet and speak with the chairman of the New National Party, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Emmeline Peer, political leader, and deputy political leader, Brother Nolan Cox, alright? And ladies and gentlemen, also on the 28th that is, the St. George's Northwest Constituency Branch, they present a breakfast and barbecue luncheon that will take place at the Boucher-Joux Community Center starting at 7 a.m. $20 for each of the breakfast and the barbecue, so you guys can check it out. Saturday gone, they would have had a wonderful time, and they're asking and expressing their thanks, for the many persons who supported, all right? Fit for Life Medical Services, Mitchell's Healthcare, Pharmacy, and Follow Me Fitness. They present Revolution 11, Follow Me, starting on the 7th of July and going on to the 31st of July. More information is coming soon, so you definitely can stick and stay right here in the classroom as we give you more and more information to the upcoming events. All right? Somebody's saying the audio is low. Is everybody hearing me? Is everybody hearing me properly? Because we would have definitely fixed that issue. I would have recorded, done my last recording with it. And now somebody's saying to me that the audio is low. Is it your system or is it mine? Because Brother Clive, you're the only person that is indicating that the audio is low. You're the only person. I am really not getting that from many other persons. If you look in the comment section, I am only seeing that you're saying that it is low. If anybody's experiencing any low audio, please indicate. Yes, because we did rectify that issue recently. And so we don't want it to be somebody saying the audio is very, very low. I think we did rectify that issue. I am wondering I'm wondering why we're still experiencing this. I'm wondering why we're still experiencing this, because we changed our mic and everything. Our mic and so on has been changed, and I don't know whether or not somebody saying it's better. So I'm seeing somebody saying it is better, and then there are other persons who are hearing it low. Because I'm broadcasting both on YouTube and on Facebook. So I don't know if it's a situation where, because I'm looking over on Facebook, somebody said it's good now. Somebody said it's good now. So Facebook is also saying that it's low. I really can't tell where we're facing that, where we're getting that problem from, because that is an issue we had recently where the audio is low and you're hearing the music itself. Somebody saying it's better now. And that was somebody who was saying that they weren't hearing properly a while ago. So is it better now, or is it still low? Is it better now, or is it still low? And that's one person who was saying that it is low a while ago. They're now saying it is better now. It is loud and clear. Somebody saying it's loud and clear. Somebody saying it's low over on the Facebook. Yes, it's better. All right, so somebody saying it's good now. So is it, Clive, is it good now? Because I just adjusted something, and I'm hearing person saying that it's good now. So it's good now. Is that what we're getting? Yes? All right. Well, in any case, we got to proceed. We definitely have to proceed. I'm hoping that I get, feedback. If I'm going too low, you guys will let me know. If I'm too high, if you get any feedback, I guess I'd have to get my technical person to check it again. I'm getting a pitch. I'm getting the actual pitch from my system. It's showing me that the volume is good. I'm looking at my table. Yes, it is good. Somebody saying it's loud and clear. Yes, it's a little better, but it could be better than that. All right. All right. So if you guys are hearing me, then I guess the problem, because I just adjusted something on my system. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a pleasant good afternoon. All right. Right. So I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you guys. I know it's been a while since we actually did a live broadcast. So I'm here actually in person because, as I said before, pre-recording person was having those issues of it being low and I cannot make the adjustment. And so we ought to fix that problem, yes, in going forward. Because we are about to gear up, yeah? It is important that we start gearing up, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to echo the sentiment to persons that you guys need to get your team ready, get your registration ready, because we are going in. As how did I say? We're going in? Yeah? We are definitely in the process right now of going in. And so we want to encourage each and every one of you guys to, check your voters list, go out there, make sure that your name and everything is on the voters list. Yes, you can subscribe to www.subscribetonnp.org. yes, and fill out the information that is there. You can also remind your friends and folks that if any information that you need to get across, you can subscribe and the information will be disseminated to you. We want to get that out there. Yes? So, let's start firing from all cylinders this afternoon. Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by reading an excerpt that, that I saw dated the 15th of June 2025. And it took me in my low moment, meaning I was actually chilling, and I said, let me just go through the clip. The clip. It had it, and that's the heading of it. Grenada election outcome too close to call as constituencies become battleground. And that is from a pollster. Yes, that is the latest information that has been disseminated. But what is funny, ladies and gentlemen, is I am seeing supporters of the National Democratic Congress taking that as a feather in their cap. That is funny, right? Because I am seeing persons under the comment section, and you need to understand, and sometimes you have to see what an individual is writing and how careful they are in structuring what they're structuring. Yeah? Sometimes you get somebody to do something and they're trying to be so neutral. Yeah? They don't want to say, well, say it out loud. But you have to read what is being said. And ladies and gentlemen, I am about to read the excerpt. Yes, it is from Dr. Pierre. Yeah? And he is a political analyst, Dr. Justin Pierre. Yes? But I want you to, I would read the excerpt and let's see if your guys are grasping what I'm grasping. And I don't understand why is it that the National Democratic Congress believe that is a feather in their cap, right? You have a 10-seat majority, and that is what it is. You have a 10-seat majority. And in the next 6 days, you would have successfully served 3 years in office. And with just within that 6 years, which on the 15th would make it 7 days. 7 days prior to your 3rd year in office, a pollster is saying to you, as a ruling administration, that the election is still too close to call. So you are the reigning champion. You are the reigning champion in whatever field that you are in. But then you're getting results that the other side, yes, has become more difficult to get the next win in your next match. So I'm a boxer and somebody saying to me, watch me, you beat that man the last time, But that man seems to be more faster, more stronger, and at this stage, even with you as the reigning champion, it is too close for me to say you're going to win the next fight. As a champion, this should be scary. Because it means that while I was laid back and believing to myself that I am going to reign supreme, you are saying to me that, hey, though you're in front, doesn't mean that you're looking good in front. But let me read the excerpt. And as I said, listen to how Dr. Pierre tried to not make them look bad. Because that's what I'm getting from it. He's trying to still make them not look bad by what he's saying in the clipping. He says, he declared that if a general election was to call today in Grenada, the outcome would be complicated to predict. This is the new national party who saw several resignations, who was claimed to be done after the leadership was given up by the past political leader. This is the NNP that was said to have been dismantled anytime Dr. Mitchell leaves the seat. But here is a pollster saying that the election outcome is still difficult to predict, with a majority of the nation's 15 constituency now considered as battleground. Well, Brother Pierre, I can safely say that this is one of the statements I cannot agree. Because I don't know how St. Mark's is a battleground. I have not seen it yet. I am not going to see it anytime soon. Yes? And with just 2 years left, I can say to you, with the present parliamentary representative sitting as a opposition MP, she has done more work than the selected senator within the constituency. So I don't know in what assessment you made to even think that St. Mark's is a battleground. Yeah? In Sister Kate's constituency, I don't know how you notice or what analysis you use to say that is a battleground area. In Sister Pierre, when he spoke about Miss Pierre, I'm going to read that. And then St. George's Northwest, I don't know how you notice or where you're realizing that it is a battleground. Yeah? Dr. Pierre, who has been closely monitoring political activities across the island, said during the latest edition of the Popular Bob Report, and here is where he started to try to put seasoning and try to make it taste good. Yeah? On Sunday, that most constituencies are too close to call, except just 3 seats where the ruling National Democratic Congress appears to be the strongest. The NDC strongholds are in St. David's, South St. George, and St. George's Northeast. All the others are now too close to call, especially in St. Patrick's. Dr. Pierce said during an interview, ladies and gentlemen, the both seats in St. Patrick's, are presently occupied by the ruling National Democratic Congress. Now, if you put what he's saying into logics, yes, understand that we are starting with 6. With 6. I don't want us to run away from that fact. However, there is 4 representation, but we're starting with 6. We would have won 6 seats during the last election. But take it to mean what it is. We are starting with 4. Yes? Now, the 4 areas that he is speaking of, that we have presently, I have not seen any significant ground being made or have been made by the National Democratic Congress. The fact is, we have seen more of the NNP gaining ground in NDC territories in which they have won last election. Come on, people, let's be logical. What impact have you seen the National Democratic Congress made in St. George's Northwest? What impact have you seen made in Dr. Modest's seat? Sister Kate's seat? Miss Pierre's seat? However, in St. Patrick's, that is 2 seats owned by the National Democratic Congress. Persons are stating that it is a toss-up. St. John's is a toss-up. Carriacou and Petit Martinique is a toss-up. So when I tell all you, read what is not written. So you're mentioning that the St. Patrick's seat, which is presently in the hands of the National Democratic Congress, it is a battleground. You mentioned St. David, South St. George, and St. George's Northeast. Yes? But listen the contradiction in what is being said when I go further down in the presentation. Yes? There is a lot of activities taking place in the St. Patrick's constituency. That is what he says. As I said, listen to times when he tried to cushion it to it. Listen to the times when he do try to song bias. Yes? The analysis comes as Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell NDC government, which swept to power in June 2022, faces a constitutional deadline to call fresh elections by 2027. Yes, he goes on to say, and here is where it gets interesting and nice. Perhaps the most striking is Dr. Pierre's observation that the opposition New National Party candidate in St. David's, Sister Nolan Thompson, has been gaining significant traction in what was previously considered a safe seat for the Prime Minister. Remember, in his earlier conversation, he said that is a stronghold for the National Democratic Congress. later on down in his conversation, he is now saying that the observation shows that the candidate, Sister Thompson, has been gaining, and hear the word, significant traction in what was previously considered a safe seat for who? The Prime Minister. So when you see we posted the last time and we say we realize that he has been slowed down, they say, joke all you're making. So they read one part of it where they have the safe seat, but they have not gone lower down. But I continue to read because I like to read. He says St. David's is becoming a battleground, which I find very interesting. That this young lady is steadily gaining traction in a seat that 1 year ago was considered safe for the Prime Minister, Dr. Pierre noted. Are you following? We are following. Are you reading? Are you seeing the unwritten things that I am talking about? The things that he did not write down. Look for it. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, this is a significant observation. Because a lot of persons are laid back and sat back. And I believe they were observing the new National Party. Okay, Dr. Mitchell, resignation, new leader, let's see what they can bring forward. So a lot of our supporters laid back and they say, let me see what Sister Emmeline is going to do. Let's see who she's going to send to represent. Let's see how she would move forward without a Dr. Mitchell, quote unquote. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a result by just that line there, that St. David's is becoming a battleground, which I find very interesting. That the young lady is steadily gaining traction. This is the words of the pollster. They're not NNP thing. All you don't run and say NNP say. Because it's an NDC as he posted. And I decided to go in below it and I see they start to comment and they show thumbs up in and yeah. But they are not reading and understanding the biggest problem. He said he attributed that Thompson rise to her distinctive campaign methodology, describe it as more qualifying. Yes, compared to the Prime Minister traditional meet the people approach. You get that? So her quantity as to her attributes as to meeting the people now has surpassed the Prime Minister. Hey, what going on? And shining light in the night and hugging old people just for a photo. And skinning up his face like he don't want to touch them. Yeah? He go on to say the Prime Minister methodology has become more likely a Gary. Yes? Former Prime Minister Eric Matthew Gary. Meet the people. You speak to a person a minute. You had the camera. And that's it. There is a little difference in how, said Dr. Pear. So when we were talking about it, that you guys are going wrong and just taking the Kodak moments and hugging people and smiling and then all you let them go after the camera cut off and all you walk away. All you didn't know other persons were observing it. You guys was not observing, oh, NNP, say, oh, only picture they taking, not we that say. Persons were observing that you all were having simple Kodak moments. Let me read it again. The Prime Minister's methodology has been more likely to be a Gary kind of way. Meet the people, you speak to a person a minute, you have a camera moment, and that's it. Persons were observing, yeah, trees about to head. Yes? He said our presence is steadily growing. And this is something that the NDC should look at. The political analysis who correctly predicted the last general election in Grenada and the recent general election in Trinidad revealed that the voter registration has been the highest in 3 critical constituencies. The Prime Minister in St. David's and in South St. George and in Northeast. Yeah? So, let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, there is a prediction. Let me just be able to get it for you guys. That there is a prediction when it comes to high voter registration. Yes? And let me just briefly read something for you guys that I didn't realize that I lost it. That speaks to when there is a high voter registration. Automatically, voter registration has led to a spike average registration rate in most states and so on. According to analysis, yes, he said whenever individuals are registering for an upcoming general election, it simply means that they are heading towards a change of governance, or it means that there are more persons involved in political affiliation. Yeah? So it means that when you see voter turnout, we should be making it, the thing about it, he's speaking to being able to understand what high voter turnout means. Not voter, but registration. Yes? That is what he's basically saying. That normally when persons are, you see a high form of registration, it means that either people wants to vote and interested in politics now, or they are looking to have a change in governance. And it goes either way. It doesn't mean that the government is going to win or the opposition. It goes either way. It means that they have seen performance in their constituencies and they're wanting to keep the present parliamentary rep, or it goes the other way. All right? The political, right. The highest number of registration to date are in Andy Williams' constituency. In the Prime Minister constituency, Andy Mr. Redhead, Dr. Pierce said, noting registration patterns from 2020 to 2024. And so he noted the registration from such time. So ladies and gentlemen, I saw so many supporters of the National Democratic Congress taking that as a feather in the cap. That in heading to the third year in office, that a pollster is saying that the election is still too close to call. That, ladies and gentlemen, to me, is a call for concern, not for the opposition, but for the government. Because when you think of battlegrounds that he mentioned, even if he say that a stronghold is in St. David's, he's stating that there have been a steady gain from Miss Thompson. Now, if we're saying that she's gaining and making a steady gain, right, within the time that she was announced to now, and we're looking at 2 years before a general election probably, and we're seeing a high voter registration, I don't find we should call it as a stronghold. Yeah, I don't think it is right to call it a stronghold. But however, I decided I was going to share this today to let you guys know that this is the same political organization, the very same political organization that they stated was done and was finished and was through. But here we are today, not too long thereafter, that the pollster is mentioning that it is too close to call. It is too close to call. But I'm happy that I got the opportunity to read that for you guys today. We're going to jump into the other conversation and I want to play a clip first for you guys to understand what journalism is. And I am not asking nobody, I'm not going to do like them and ask anybody not to listen to the program. But I want you guys to go and listen, or maybe pay attention. Maybe sometimes they show up a clip and listen and understand how persons don't do their very own research, how persons don't even educate themselves as it relates to what they want to speak about or what they have to know. Yeah? And let me start by playing this clip right here.
We want the evidence to show that it was a bribery. We want the evidence to show. Saying that it's a bribery.
After I heard some of the panelists say all kind of things is ridiculous, it's what, and spoiling character. And then at the end I heard, Well, I don't think we should bother go through that. If we go through suing, it will add more fuel, no oxygen. How would it add more oxygen? As a matter of fact, what it would do is end the whole thing.
Jenny, we want
That's it. It
you
cannot
in the
add more
media, I'm in the
oxygen.
media, we do this, right? If you have
So,
evidence, we want to see if you say that there is a bribery, underhand passing of money, we need the information, we need the evidence, because anybody could say that. I could get up any Monday morning and say that.
I like
yeah,
that.
no, you can't say that because you don't have the evidence.
No,
I
because
can say
so where the
you
evidence?
cannot say that.
So present the
Like, you
evidence.
will not get up, and I will not get up.
Uh-huh.
I will not get up and just say that somebody took a bribe, especially like that, a minister in a project. I will not get up and say that. So I don't know if you will get up and say that just so.
No, I won't get up and say that. You want.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to zero on this for a while because, as I said, sometimes you see intelligence and understanding does surpass some people. Because I think understanding is a simple method. Yeah? It's a simple method. You have to understand what is being said, who is saying it, and on the grounds in which it's being said. Now, the podcaster is saying, I have evidence of a particular something, of an allegation or accusation by a particular individual. Right? Now, answer this question, and let's be logical. What if tomorrow Sister Jenny posts information on Facebook or whatever social media platform showing that the parliamentary representative, that what he's being accused of, she does have facts? Now answer me. This journalist or any other individual within the state, how is this beneficial to them? So Sister Jenny posted. What do you think that would happen thereafter? Seeing the trend and pattern within the past few years, what do you think would happen? Immediately they would defend it. Oh, that is lie. That's just a piece of paper. That just write it there. You see, the thing about it, what I understand from Sister Jenny, with the GDB information, I think she played her hand a little bit too early. Yeah? When she had the information on the GDB information, she played her hand a little bit too early. And so, Sister Jenny has since learned her lesson from you NDC supporters that she's not going to play her hand this time too early. Because the last time she played her hand and you all tricked her into playing her hand too early, immediately damage control was done. The board stepped in. This one could have covered up. This one could have gone. So this time, you all ain't getting the opportunity for she to play she hand too early. So it is starting to become in your mind that she don't have nothing to play with and she's just talking. Because I am hearing them say, oh, the last time she said that, I remember vividly when Sister Jenny stated about the GDB conversation, a whole file, a document was posted. Yes? That a whole file was posted and a document was posted. So my thing here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. What baffles me most in this situation is that an individual is coming forward, speaking on a parliamentary representative, my God. Yes, your basic trump card, because at the end of the day, everything that is happening that is stating to be a boost in this government is actually coming from the present minister. Yeah? So I believe this is somebody that needs to be protected by the party. Yeah? Funny enough, this individual from since this has happened. And I said to you, I would not say to you, I posted recently. Let me tell you something about guilt. Let me tell you something about guilt. And think about it in your own space. As a person. When somebody is guilty, you know what's the first thing they do? They look for sympathy or empathy. In the judicial system, when evidence has been presented and there is final deliberations to the jurors in the decision making, when they have found an individual guilty and the defense has to now speak because evidence has presented, hey, this man is guilty. For those of us who are aware as to the court system, check out what the defense lawyer immediately does. Your Honor, this is a gentleman that has 2 kids. He has a job. He goes to the work every day. He takes care of his kids. He has recently taken a loan and his mortgages is being paid. Sympathy, empathy, because at the end of the day, your guilt has been presented. You are guilty. But however, your defense lawyer is now looking for empathy or sympathy from the jurors in order to reduce or minimize your sentence. But you're guilty. Yeah? And ladies and gentlemen, what I have seen recently, and if you guys follow me and you have gone to the page of the said minister, you would see what I'm talking about. Now, ever so often, when the reality hit him as to, hey, boy, that allegation serious, you know, you would immediately see him post something, yes, whereby he's looking for sympathy. Yeah? And then you see he come back again and he check himself and he say, let me just study that. And then you see he go back again and you see he start to play on his mind. Yeah? So, in his recent posting, look at he's now having the great South St. George. I don't want to read the thing because I don't want to promote the thing. He's thinking about registration. He's posting events where he's in South St. George giving thanks. He's posting where he has scholarship, and he posting where he has his bus store. And ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman facing an allegation of such serious nature is ignoring the fundamental principle of a public servant or somebody in public office. That you, and I mentioned it last week, he rightfully stated that politics is about people. And at present, Sister Jenny Simon, who's a Grenadian, whether or not she supported or voted for him, as a citizen of the state, is raising a concern. Because that's what you say politics is. It's about the people. So there is a person, Andy Williams, in Grenada at present, that is basically accusing you and alleging you that your representation has been involved in a corrupt practice. Because politics is about people. And so she's a Grenadian, and as a person, she's asking you to please the general public by simply bringing forth contradictory proof of the allegation that she's making, that of bribery. Bring some form of identification, because she's specifically speaking about the situation. It's not like she's saying, oh, well, I know of a situation and it happened. And no, she's calling the name. She's telling you about the contract. She's telling you about the contractor. So it's not something that is oblivious to you. You are aware as to who and what she's speaking about, because you went into details. For those of you who have not seen it, because I know some of you guys are so green that you're all even wasting time to go on this guy page. Yeah? But let me read it, because he posted it. Yes? Let me read it. So, and let me show you why I know he knows what she's talking about. He says years ago, they tried the same with Nazim Bok. And here, contradiction, here thing in mind, Hear how conflicting he is. Hear what he said, eh? Years ago, they tried the same thing with Nazimbo. What same thing? So you are aware as to what she's speaking about. Right? He said it worked back then. You hear? He said it worked. Although Nazim won his case years later, today, in this era, they are targeting me because the people of Grenada Carriacou Pitimistic stands with me. Sympathy, empathy. You getting it? Yeah? So he's not, he in the first paragraph, he's not denying, and listen to the whole thing, he has not yet denied. He is basically referencing that happened before with Nazim Bok, and he said it worked back then. It worked, yeah? Right. So, moving on, he said, let someone please deliver the message on my behalf. It may have worked with Mr. Bok, but not with me. This guy is so contradictory, eh? One thing I know for certain, the truth is the truth. What is the truth? That's what we want to know. What is the truth? What is it? Because here everybody's asking Sister Jenny to provide evidence. Sister Jenny is laying out all that she stated that is happening. Right? All that the accusation, it is placed right there. No. You're saying the truth is the truth. Why are they not asking him to present the truth? Because she's saying, hey, you collected bribery, you collected X, Y, or Z. You have not presented anything contradictory to the allegation made. Because if somebody is saying to me, Prince, this is what was said on that date, and I'm accusing you that you defamated my character by saying this. My truth is that, hey, on this date, right, I did say something of that similar nature, but that is not what I said. And I can present the truth. We have seen it happen in Grenada before with me. Yeah? They have tried. But when I take a stance, and on the grounds that I am taking the stance on, you gotta move me because I'm built on concrete. I don't second guess when I'm doing things because I ensure that I educate myself enough to understand what I'm saying, when I'm saying it, and to whom I'm saying it. Yeah? So my thing is, the truth is the truth. From your end, Minister Williams, what is the truth? Because they're asking Sister Jenny to provide evidence. She have outlined all her information. She said all that happened, the amount, how it is paid, to whom. I don't know what evidence you guys want again. So what she's having is word of mouth. She says she has a hard copy, but she's saying, I have that hard copy, but this is what is on the hard copy. The minister, on the other hand, is saying, hey, that is untrue. But he's not saying whether or not, okay, well, that was not collected, that is not the amount, that never happened, I never spoke to this individual. Anyway, going on, he says, there is no evidence because there is absolutely no truth to the story. And here he goes now with a vague explanation. Nelson Louison bought a house from me through a third party representing him. I did not even, and let me, what me? What? Anyway, let me go ahead. Nelson Louison, and let me break it down for you guys. Let me show you my simple ability in investigation. I did not even know he was the buyer. Nelson Louison bought a house from me through a third party representation. I did not even know he was the buyer until the transaction was finalized by a lawyer in 2023. Andy Williams, we are in a different era. We are in a different era, my brother. Stop this stupidness. So even if something happened, you are basically saying to the Grenadian people, you agreed on something with you. You go and sign a document. You are dealing with somebody that you didn't even know you were dealing with them. You are public figure, sir. And so this level of scrutiny must be done. How can you tell the general public that you sell a house to somebody, but the person you are dealing with is not actually the person? So the person could have set you up. So maybe that is what's going on there. Maybe you get set up and you don't know. How can you, in your mind, in your intellect, even make that statement? And that's why I laugh. Because you're bringing the thing more into light. So maybe you were tricked. That's what I have to say. Because you hear what you started by saying. There is absolutely no truth to this story. You say, Nelson Lewison bought a house from me through a third party. So even if you're speaking third party, maybe you're speaking maybe one of the real estate or so on or so forth. Right? Now let us be honest. And no real estate and no business would not disclose to you your buyer. Yes, they're selling on the behalf of, but even in your intelligence, and a third party come to you as a minister of government, somebody says to you, okay, this gentleman wants to buy your property. As a minister, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful because you would want to know, well, okay, excuse me, ma'am, sir, yes, I'm selling my house, but you have to understand, based on public image, it's important that, I know who's buying my house. Yeah? Yes, it is true that I may want to, sell my house and not have the earnings, but it is important that I know who I'm selling my house to. You don't know if you're selling it to a fraudster, maybe the community you're in, based on how it is. You don't want to sell it to a drug lord because you must scrutinize. These are important. You're a public figure. Dr. Mitchell wake up tomorrow and they say he's selling his house, and then anybody go just come and buy it because you want. No. As a public figure, it is important that you vet. You vet because you never know. Because look at you today. Look at where we reached today. Because you did what you did without scrutinizing as a public image. So you're not being faced with an allegation and you're talking about, oh, you didn't know, and how you could not know your public image. Those things must be disclosed to you. You must come to say, listen to me. Yes, you guys, I would like to know who I'm selling my house to. So you only get to know that. He said, I didn't even know. The buyer until the transaction was done and finalized by the lawyer in 2023. Come on. You're seated as a parliamentary representative. Moving on. And yet, they sat down and decided to invent a story. Starting with, it is true and it is alleged. Over time, and mind you people, that is contradictory. Something cannot be true and alleged. Yeah, you allege something and it becomes true. Yeah? But so we know how it is. Yes, it happened, but unless you find the logical evidence, then it is alleged and then it becomes true. As he's saying, innocent until proven guilty. Right? Over time, they got so bold that they now declare their lies openly and confidently, sorry. So you're realizing the confidence and all. He said, but I have one simple sentence for them. Get ready. For what? For what, Mr. Williams? This whole statement here, if I'm a magistrate and the way I just broke it down, if you bring that to me and you say that in court, I lock in your force as a public figure for the lack of intelligence that you have. I lock in you for at least 14 days to just get your brain intact. You know what I mean? Because in this, you're simply stating that I did a transaction unknowingly. That's what you're saying, So the allegations could as well be true. But here is further stating. The individual is saying, sue me. Sue me if you're bad. I'm saying this, sue me. And you're still asking for all you. Let you bring the evidence. Let Jenny bring the evidence. For what? And to whom? What importance it is to you? What importance it is to you? The police has evidence. A knife. They will just come and give the family and say, look, that's the evidence we have. What importance is this to the family of the alleged or the defendant? The police catch somebody with marijuana and you're telling the police, say, look your evidence. Then they hand you the marijuana. What are you going to do with it? Let's be honest. The police find a firearm and he say, I'm arresting you for firearm. and he say, here's the evidence, look it in your hand. He hand you the evidence? These people are crazy, yo. But however, ladies and gentlemen, this is heading to a civil suit. Yeah? This is heading to a civil suit. Yeah? But let me just explain to Brother Andy. There is one thing I want you to note very clearly. Let me just make you hear it. And it's not me that say, I have like a friend overseas. He sent that to me. Here's what he said.
Thou shalt not steal
and thief.
It's not me that say, me like a friend from overseas that said that for me. Yeah? So don't hold me to nothing. Don't hold me to nothing. Me like a friend say, Prince, I want to send that for you, and then he send that for me and I listen.
Thou shalt not steal
and thief.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yeah? But ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I want to read something to you. And as I said, it's heading to a civil suit. And listen to what happens in a civil case. Yeah? In a civil case of defamation, it is not on the plaintiff, on the defendant. It is not on the defendant to bring any evidence. Yeah? I say something about you. You ought to prove as the defendant, as the plaintiff or the complainant, that what I said about you is incorrect. So in that situation, Sister Jenny is accusing Mr. Williams. It is on him to prove what she's saying is untrue. In a civil defamation case, the burden of proof generally rests on the plaintiff. The plaintiff is the person alleging defamation. So in that case, is he to say that she's defamating his character by what she say. So it is stating that the burden of proof is generally rests on the plaintiff. So it's up to Mr. Williams to prove that what she's saying is untrue and she is the one defamating his character. So let me read that again. The burden of proof generally rests on the plaintiff, the person alleging defamation, not the defendant. So the defendant have nothing to prove because it's the defendant that say. So I say, you are charging me, you're suing me. It is to prove no, because what I said, it is you to defend what I said. It says the plaintiff must prove that the defamatory statement or the defamatory statement was made. What was said, and that it was false, and that it has caused them harm. Now, what is contradictory about this? About the stage that we are in? Now, ask me, based on how the brother is rolling now, if he decides 2 days down the road to sue Sister Jenny, how is he proving to the court that caused him any harm? Because based on what Sister Jenny is saying, you're on social media saying the Grenadian people is supporting you, persons are posting you and say we are behind you, supporting you. It have never changed anything of it as it relates to your movements and style. You are moving as normal. So at this stage, we understand where we're going. He says the defendant may then raise defenses like truth or privilege. So I just want to send this out there to the many persons that are asking Sister Jenny for evidence. Sister Jenny's conversation, based on what she's saying, is mentioning that, hey, you took a bribe. And I have the evidence. I am alleging you. I am saying that you did. And she did. I feel the point of saying allege, I feel Sister Jenny stop using allege. Sister Jenny said you did. And if you're bad, sue me. And then persons are asking Sister Jenny for her evidence. No. In a civil case of defamation, the burden of proof generally rests on the plaintiff, not the defendant. The plaintiff must prove that the defamatory statement was made and that it was false. Take all you to a little school day for a little while. Yeah? I cannot understand why we are at the stage asking Sister Jenny for proof. Sister Jenny has no proof to present to nobody. Sack it and pal it up. And if I am to advise Sister Jenny, and I believe that she's intelligent enough and have sick legal counsel, yeah, prove nothing to nobody. You have laid what has been done. The information is out there. And if you're bad, sue me. If you're bad, sue me. I have the evidence, I have the information. And the burden of proof is laid upon the plaintiff or the complainant in that situation to prove that what Sister Jenny is being said or have said is untrue. And that is the burden of proof that must lay within this present hearing. That will bring evidence what? Bring evidence with. Sue me. And then you would know if I have evidence or not. Sue me. And you would know whether or not I'm bluffing. Sue me. And then you can tell the general public that the information that I'm disseminating is false. Sue me. The Jenny saying is, all you want to play mass, afraid powder, watch mass. Ladies and gentlemen, again, utter hush as it relates to a very important matter within the state. And I just want you guys to always know what is happening. Because we can go about believing to ourselves that what we say and what we hear and what is being presented is the truth. For those of us who don't know, and Sister Linda Stricker did bring it up, and I was in conversation with somebody on Saturday, and we spoke briefly about that, and they're waiting to see what would happen. In Sister Linda's deliberation, she says, I am still baffled to why Grenada's lower house of parliament or the House of Representatives has a session scheduled for June 17th, which is tomorrow, which is the same day the 7th sitting of the OECS Assembly is happening. If you don't know what is the OECS Assembly, let me tell you, it is the parliamentary sessions for parliamentarians in the OECS. The sessions takes place every 2 years, and the attendees are parliamentary representatives from both the ruling administration and the opposition. Right? OECS that plays a more integral role within the states, with our present Prime Minister having been the last chairman, must understand that Grenada must give way to a bigger house. Because at the end of the day, the sitting tomorrow is not a pressing sitting, and I'm hoping that somebody could tell me that they would have cancelled the sitting for tomorrow already. Because the representation for the parliamentarians must be both from the opposition and the present administration. Yes, the session starts at 9:30 a.m. and is taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The lower house is starting at 9 a.m. Well, Sister Stricker is saying, I'm seeing to watch, I'm waiting to see who is attending the OECS session. Because rightfully, what we suppose to see tomorrow is representatives from both the opposition and government. And I'm hoping that government did maybe extend the invitation, right? Or whether or not they would have sent the invitation and that there are representatives over there. Somebody saying, Ron is in St. Vincent for that meeting right now, he said. Okay. Okay. We have 4 representatives on the opposition side. And I don't know if anybody can help me in any way in understanding this, right? I'm 3 minutes gone past you, but I wanted to touch on two issues really fast. That of another contradiction. And you see, it is funny, and I was talking to an individual recently, and he said to me, NNP did, Dr. Mitchell did this in I think it was 1999? Something he was mentioning to me. And he said, Dr. Mitchell did this in whatever time. And we were sitting among an audience, and you wouldn't believe that the person was not really in our conversation. We were beating between ourselves, talking, a friend of mine. And he said what Dr. Mitchell did, I think in 99 or early 2000s. And I basically spoke on it, and I said, but 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, this organization campaigned on X or Y. You know what the gentleman turned and tell me? Forget that passed already. Immediately, the guy that was sitting close to me turned around and he said to me, Prince, why don't stop that conversation, day? Come, let's drink, he made the joke, and he said, but let's drink and forget this guy. Because you mentioned what Dr. Mitchell did in 1990 something or 2000, and you want me to forget it. But what happened 2.5 years ago, you don't want me to mention it? 2.5 years ago, forget it. But in excess of a decade, remember it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is this National Democratic Congress concept. They want you to forget what happened 2 years, 3 months, 4 months ago. But they could bring back things what Dr. Mitchell did since the clock on church, it was a watch. They want you to remember things when there was revolution. But 2.5 years ago, don't talk about that. That never happened. But this is not going to happen on my program. Because I would show you the level of inconsistency within this government. There are people doing things within this political organization, administration, where others are displeased. But you see everybody on the corrupt scale. And this is a typical example, and we made it public today, and that was the last thing that I had documented to speak on today. Listen to this. A bit of inconsistency and everybody haywire. But I still believe the lady in this clip, because we know the guy.
Can you confirm this morning that houses under the Build Back Better as well as Project 500 has been approved? Each one that has been done so far has been approved by the Physical Planning Authority.
Right, so Project 500, yes, we got the approval from planning. As a matter of fact, the person that is leading that project is a gentleman by the name of Randy Dolan, and all due care and so was taken into consideration. When we are doing the Build Back Better project, we brought planning on site.
We don't cut in the clip. You hear that? Everything was done with due care and attention. You see that? See that there? I tell all you, listen to what you're not hearing. You hear that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Huh? Why was that statement made? Why? Think about it for yourself as a person. If you're speaking on that issue, why would you speak on whether or not it's, everything has been cleared and everything is good? Why even mention it? Yeah? And dog sucking egg.
Project, we brought planning on site. Because we knew that we would have needed a quick approval from them to move forward. So we brought them on site. As a matter of fact, these two gentlemen here was with me when we went on site, when we did the pilot one, that's in Grand Anse.
A few moments later.
So then we hire people, they say they could bill, and when you see what they bill, it's a disaster, next disaster.
I've really seen in the swimming club.
And when you see what they bill, it's a disaster, next disaster. And when you see what they bill, it's a disaster, next disaster. So we really need to get our people, especially our young men, upgraded with skills. Yes. Because some of them, they've been around construction as a helper, but they have not acquired the skill to go on their own.
Right.
And that is a challenge.
Yeah, I went, for example, in the lines. got guys to come. We had a meeting on the Lions basketball court and got guys off the block to come and start to paint, plumbing, electrical, even in Granance Valley.
Ladies and gentlemen, what? Listen to me. I usually when I'm preparing for my program, I listen to those things and I try not to laugh when I'm on the program. But I have to come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is two ministers of government. This is two ministers of government. Mobilization implementation. He's saying that, hey, Project 500 on the go, pilot program, green light, we going. I get a few fellas on the blocks doing plumbing, painting, electrical. And on the other hand, you have another individual in the same government saying, watch, we get a few fellas there, they're no good. They're no good at all. Because I played it again. Because the sister is at the point, and this is honesty. She's been honest. But you see, this guy just have a way at that. He just can't help it. Listen again. Sister Gloria, tell me the truth. And nothing but the truth to help you, God.
Young men upgraded with skills. Yeah. Because some of them, they've been around construction as a helper, but they have not acquired the skill to go on their own.
Right.
You know, and that is a challenge.
Yeah, I went, for example, in the Lions, got guys to come. We had a meeting on the Lions basketball court and got guys off the block to come and start to paint, plumbing, electrical, even in Granance Valley. Yeah, we have guys like John Del Fletcher, who came in as a young person and just learned some of the stuff in construction. Now he's building houses, he's doing roads.
But then we hire people, they say they could build, and when you see what they build, it's a disaster, next disaster.
Can you?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a typical example as to the level of governance in the state. The level of contradiction, the lack of communication, the lack of understanding. And let me tell you something. Suggestively, this program could have as well brought a very nice youth program based on what he's saying. I don't find I should say it, I find they go copy it. I find if I say what I want to say and I give all these suggestions, they might copy it. But like in St. Mark's, I remember after the passage of Hurricane Ivan, Dr. Modest, and I don't know if it was a national project, where young persons, carpenters, young persons, and so on, were selected and were given the opportunity to do a short course. Yeah, a very short course. And I remember a few of the guys, even went as far as to Trinidad. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't know how busy Dr. Modest is. I wish I could call her for she to explain this a little more to me. Yeah, but it's a situation where the young men was given the opportunity to further their skill. So they might have known, they had a little knowledge as to carpentry or whatever. And even one time, even in recent conversation with Dr. Modest, while we were talking about the situation, one of the young men was passing. Yeah? And she called him and she said, you remember X and Y time, what were you certified in? And he became an electrician, a certified electrician. Yes? Under that program that was initiated. And as Dr. Modest explained to me, it was a situation where she went on a trip. Yes? And while on the trip, she met with someone and she said, this is what is going on in Grenada, and the person would have offered to train those young men. Yeah? So I believe, yes, we did have a situation of that nature in Grenada before, where we train our young persons to become better and more skilled. Maybe they have the knowledge, but to acquire a better, skill, or to go further, that is what they did. But here we have a minister. I go on the block, I go in the lines and have a meeting on the court, and I get a few fellas. This is not how these things are to be done. You're talking about the livelihood of individuals. They're not a drain, a cotton bush. Electrical and plumbing are very tentative jobs. And you ought to have certified or qualified persons in that regard. So if you have a qualified individual and you have them helping, then fine. And as I said, I'm saying it. This could have been just a nice program along with the Ministry of Youth, whereby you take the opportunity to have young persons who at least, have a qualification in X, Y, and Z in the different areas, and you make it a nice youth program. You incorporate it like that, but no. They're playing wicked. Somebody sent to me, they say the NDC mean notorious delusional suckers. Yeah. And as I close, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you of this one. It was just sent to me and immediately it falls right into what I'm saying, whereby persons want you to forget what was said 2.5 years ago. But remember what Dr. Mitchell did 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But we're not going to forget. So come in, Mr. Prime Minister.
The Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office.
And I'm saying it is solvable by the stroke of a pen.
A few moments later.
We never said we would regularize the public service in 12 months. We said we would regularize it.
The Congress commits to regularizing the status of contract workers who are working for the government and Imani workers who are working for the government within 12 months of assuming office. Within 12 months of assuming office.
A few moments later.
The regularization is focused on the several hundreds, if not thousands, of the persons who do not have those things. In order to treat with that, we simply cannot take all of them and make them established public servants for the simple reason that it will bankrupt the government. It will not be sustainable. In order to treat with that, we simply cannot take all of them and make them established public servants for the simple reason that it will bankrupt the government. It will not be sustainable.
Put everybody, put all Imani under permanent. Put all nurses under permanent. Put all, everybody. Just put them because you're wicked if you don't do it. Yes. Go in government. Go into government and do that and find out who is going to support you. Go, then you will find out and they'll say, I didn't understand and I did not know. That's why you have to come in to a training school first and learn before you become the Hefe.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the end of today's broadcast. I am hoping that the information that was disseminated this afternoon did in some way or the other brought some form of a light to any political conflict that you would have had in your mind. Continue to be a part of the Class in Session program. I am yours truly, Royalty James. I am hoping to see you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place. This is what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. These folks were warned, forewarned, fifth one, sixth one. At the end of the day, everything would be brought into light. More of this will be heard. More of this will be seen. Because we're spreading it. We're catching them in their lies. And as I read earlier on, it is a new era. As mentioned by the minister, it is a new era. And so within this era, we are going to hold you guys accountable for all that has been said and misled by you to the Grenadian people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be back in person and broadcasting again. Yes, I think when we started, we had a little hiccup with the audio, and an issue that we were trying to fix. Yeah, But however, we have gone and made little changes and so on and so forth. And I think I just had to adjust something because most persons have said very early they weren't hearing, and then I adjusted something, and then most persons are now saying that they're hearing me clearly. Yes? So, with that being said, I want to invite you guys to be back here again tomorrow. There is a lot of you guys, yes, that have, reach out in terms of, consistency and so on and so forth. And I know that's a constructive criticism to me, because it is important that when you start something of that nature and persons are enjoying it. And I guess if persons were not enjoying the program, yeah, then they would not have made that clarion call. But many persons have, said, hey, I'm enjoying the program, you educate me on certain things, and so we want to see you more regular. Yes? And so in going forward, I am going to ensure, as I said, unless there is maybe a situation where I have to pre-record, and there are situations like this. Yeah, there are situations where I would sometimes have to pre-record instead of not doing the program at all. Yeah, there are situations where I would have to pre-record. The thing about the pre-recording, when I do pre-record, it may just be on YouTube. So we're asking everybody over on Facebook to go over on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, the Classroom is the name of the Facebook channel. Go over there and subscribe, because there are days when I pre-record, you guys are only be able to get it on YouTube, and that is because YouTube does have the opportunity for premiere, meaning you can record and then at 60 would be played. Unlike YouTube, on Facebook, you'd have to go through a whole different process. You gotta be there in person and so on. All right, but I want to make that commitment in going forward, that the consistency of the program is now going to be one that I am going to wholeheartedly put myself to, yes, because it is part of my responsibility. And so I want you guys, yes, to continue to encourage me, send me information. Somebody said it as I got to reach and switch. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah? Continue with the conversation. I want to start a group chat though. A classroom group chat, whereby when you guys got information, that you guys can send it over to me. Maybe a conversation you want me to discuss, because your opinions are important. Because sometimes when we're on the program, I see persons typing the information and they would ask, hey, what is going on with this? But I don't have it firsthand. So if we create the group chat, then fine. You guys can message me on 418-3702, send me your number, or over on Messenger, send me your number so I can start a group chat. That group chat would be simply to, disseminate information, maybe something that you want to know, something maybe you want to throw out. And mind you, let me say this, anything concerning the party affiliated with the political party, NNP Women's Arm, something within your constituency, and you want to send it to me, it's fine, I'm going to throw it out. That is free of cost. But anything outside of that, yeah, I can't tell you to go on my account and put anything. I don't want to pledge. I mean, I can't do these things. Yeah, but it is one of publicizing and advertisement. It helps, put $2 in the coffers. And so if you guys get anything outside of the political party, then there might be a little fee. Not much. I'm not a big established radio station to charge you auto amount. Yes. So if you guys get anything affiliated with the party and constituency, that's free of cost. Anything outside of that, I say no more. All right. So it's been a pleasure. Yes. And I want you guys, I see over on YouTube, you guys really had a long conversation today, but I was really fixed on delivering today, because as I said, I want to start going in. Yes. And we want to contradict a lot of things that is being said. And I think within the political party, yes, we are allowing the NDC to say too much and not being able to cut down on things that they say. And so we're going forward in that trajectory. And we want you guys to be there with us. Yeah. Again, as I said, it was definitely a pleasure. God's blessings to each and every one of you guys. Now you guys can go over, get something to drink, go to the toilet, get your bread and cheese, your corn chips or whatever it is, and get ready because the Talking Point program is up next with Brother Sheldon at 8. Yes? So, do have yourself a wonderful evening. God's blessings to each and every one of you guys. I'll catch you back here again tomorrow at 6 where we do our live broadcast. Yeah? And as I said, if anything comes up or anything changes, you guys, you will know first. Yeah?
The line is drawn in the sand. Can someone help me to understand what's going on? What's taking place now in my nation? All of a sudden, like some people don't know right from wrong. They're taking their debt like some sheep with their heads bowed down. But I remember times in the past when politicians were doing crap. They wasn't afraid to call out their wrongs and let them know they're not having that. But nowadays, it's like people scared to speak the truth. They're living in fear, disparity, hypocrisy. It's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't have the people hostage. To speak the truth, everybody afraid. They can't do that. They can't do that. From public servants you can hear a song. Victimization, Lord, they tie the tongue. They can't do that. 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 Pam pam fado, pam pam boy. Pressure, pressure. Everywhere you go, the same cry. People can't meet their basic needs, Lord, the country dry. But for some people, you can tell them that they don't want to hear. They don't care how much people suffering once they party then. We healthcare system drowning in a mess. Basic medicine, the patients can get them poor e-monies, the hands on the head, who take away the bread, so heartless and dread. But still we PM keep wasting millions, traveling the world and renting a mansion. Disparity, hypocrisy, it's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't turn deaf ear to the people's cries, and every day feeding them bags of lies. They can't do that. They can't do that. Too much ego, too much arrogance, no empathy, I do what I want. They can't do that, they can't do that, they can't do that. They can't do that, they can't do that, they can't do that. Dilibi loba loba loy. Pam pam padoy, pam pam boy. Jeffersonians, we all want to know where the hell you're gone. Those self-proclaimed who call themselves the people's champion. For years and years, you sing songs claiming you're the people's voice. But it's clear right now, you no longer care about the people's plight. So much was waiting on the Chinese homes, but so sad for them, they can't get the loan. 118 million we got for burial. Affected families catching their ass still. The poor man can get GDP small loan, but some ministers could get few millions. Disparity, hypocrisy, it's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. The temporary workers, I hear them say, they might get permanent when they turn grey. They can't do that. They can't do that. The promise was made, they go pay pension. Now they stuffing their throat with pension reform. They can't do that. 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 Alibidoy, tidilidey, tolololoy. I hope this song sheds some light on some people's life and help them to think it straight and see wrong from right. It doesn't matter who you support, that is your own choice. But don't allow that to make you deaf or darken your sight. Before politics, we are Grenadians, so we can be free to say wrong is wrong. No matter your race, no matter the class, shouldn't be about color, but it's country first. So let's change this now, before it's too late. And let's try our best and eliminate disparity, hypocrisy. It's confusing me, and it's a shame to see. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't keep them fooling us every day and expect we problems to go away. They can't do that. They can't do that. And if they don't listen to what I say, they will pay the price on election day. They can't do that. 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 They can't do that.